Hello again, it's me, that guy with the YouTube channel, here to do another one of these damn things again. Anyways, today we're going to review, as you can tell, the Bandai B-Shop exclusive Ultra Galaxy Ancient Monster Gomora and EX Gomora box set. So starting out with the box, as you can see, it's not really much special to look at. It's all black and white, and most of what you need to see on the box is on the front. You got pictures of the two figures there, Ancient Monster Gomora and EX Gomora in English, with them presumably in Japanese there and there. There's some details there, Bandai, there's the Ultra Galaxy logo, and Movie Monster Series XP. We just focus on that. At the top we got Special Set. And there's also a B-Shop logo. I have no idea what B-Shop is, but I presume this was an exclusive to there. Top is incredibly boring. It says B-Shop Ultra Monster Series SP. Side has the name of the set in English with the same stuff from the top on the back, and you got the set contents. Back just says the same thing as the other side, and the side's the same except it has a sticker from Mandarake, so that's cool. Also included in the set is this interesting little thing here, which is obviously a loose tag of some kind, though obviously not meant to hang off of either of the figures. On the front you got Ultra Monster Series SP. There's some stuff there, the set contents. Back is just yellow, but here comes the party trick. Open it up, and yeah, you find out that it is actually two tags fused into one. So on one side we got the front of a tag for Gomora, and the other we got a front of a tag for EX Gomora. And if I can just focus in on this here, there you go, check this out. Got some stats there on the two versions of Gomora. We got Mega Monster Battle Ultra Galaxy, and then when you open it up here, it's just black and white, but yeah, we get some more stats about the characters, and there's a kind of neat picture of the two figures kind of cross-cut together. So yeah, this is actually a really neat, kind of surprising little thing when I opened it up. No game cards included, even though that was the thing around this time, but I guess this was more of a collector-oriented thing. And there's also this, if you want that for anything, it's here. Here it is. So starting out with detail on the regular Gomora, as you can see, it is very, very nice. This Gomora, for the most part, is mainly a repaint of the Ultraman Max Gomora, with one difference being his head sculpt, which we'll get to, but yeah, just starting at his feet here, you can see they're very, very nicely detailed with all sorts of ridges and wrinkles, as if it were a suit. So it's all very nice. Not a whole lot to write home about on the bottom of the feet. As you can see, there's a silver smear on mine. That's my fault, but I digress. You can see the detail is very nice coming up his body. All the ridges and wrinkles are sculpted very well on his arms too. They're very wrinkly. Not as many of these little kind of craggly looking wrinkles on the arms, but they are still very, very nicely detailed. See, the hands both have a nice pose to them, very Gomora-esque. The chest, which is all detailing on there, is very, very nice and precise, as most Bandai figures made up until 2012 were. Well, for Ultraman at least. And yeah, even along his back here, you can see just a really nice texture coming along here, all the way down his tail, which is very long. And then we come to the head sculpt, which is the unique thing about this figure. As you can see, instead of being the Ultraman Max Gomora, it is meant to resemble Ray's Gomora from Ultra Galaxy, and does a very nice job capturing it. Upper row of teeth are not the best, aren't very well sculpted at all, but that's kind of how Bandai is. Lower row are individually sculpted, however, and very, very crisp looking. paint apps on this figure are not the best thing, I will be honest. If I can just focus this in here, real nice and tight, come on, there we go. Yeah, as you can see, the teeth are a little bit sloppy, especially on this side here. As you can see, there's some major paint slop on the tooth there. This eye is also kind of slopped over onto his eyelid, and even on his head crests, on the red markings, as you can see, there's a little bit of slop there. And this was like this out of the box. I got this set unopened, and that's how it was. Another complaint I do have with this figure is that the only color on his entire body other than brown is black. I mean, if the head didn't have the colors it needed to have, this whole figure would just be brown and black with no variation, even on the nails. So that is kind of disappointing for this figure. It doesn't detract from it too terribly bad, but it is a little off-putting when there's just very little color on this figure at all. Though it is still a very nice figure with an incredible sculpt. So for detail on EX Gomora, as you can see, this figure is everything the normal Gomora in this set was times 10. It is amazing. You can see there's all this great sculpted texture along his leg here, on his legs, it's the same obviously. His knee spike is kind of sculpted to look bony. Can't really say the same for his toenails or his heel spike, but it wasn't like that on either version of this character, and nothing on the bottom of the feet, but who cares? You can see all this nice detail here along his leg, on his body, on his hands even. It is so amazing, with his humongous hands. You can see all the detail in there, and the spikes on his arms are very nicely sculpted. See along his body, we got the scale patterns, we're gonna call them that? Yeah, really nice. And all the armor along his back looks amazing, and his tail. And as you've probably been able to tell, unlike normal Gomora, he has more than just two colors on his body, which is very nice. So his nails aren't like the same shade of brown they sprayed all over the figure. Yeah, just on the other side, the head. See, I'm not sure if you can quite tell, but it is sculpted in there. And both rows of teeth are individually sculpted and have a very slight texture to it. Need I say more about the detail on this figure? Now, one thing I do want to point out about him is that this figure's sculpt isn't actually based on EX Gomora from Ultra Galaxy, but rather EX Gomora as he appeared in the video games, Ultra Coliseum and the Fighting Evolution games to be exact. So he's got some inaccuracies if you compare him to the show, like the number of teeth in his mouth, his posture, and yeah, just general little things like that. And they have painted this to appear to look more like the suit in the show, because the first release of this figure was in more of a gray color, which obviously looks more like the one in the games. But I personally like this much better. It's much more vibrant. Although I will say these armor parts along his legs and back, and even on his arms on the first release of this figure, they actually do have kind of a more clean-cut paint job, so there's a differentiation between the armor and the skin, whereas here on the figure it's kind of more sprayed on, and on the legs you can't even tell that there's meant to be a difference between armor and skin. But minor complaints with this amazing looking figure. Just get a nice looking head sculpt there, the eyes, very nice. And the paint is not as sloppy on this figure as it is on normal Gomora, so that's good. So yeah, that's EX Gomora for you. It's a thing. He's got big hands. He exists. Here's a comb. So for articulation on the two figures, starting with normal Gomora, obviously, he has the obvious points you'd expect. The arms rotate all the way around, no problem. This one does kind of hit up against the thigh, but do you really want to rotate the arms all the way around? I don't know. It's your figures, you do what you want with them. Anyways, legs move. They move. They can probably do more than this, but I don't want to do more than that with mine. The tail moves, which I actually kind of didn't know when I first got the set and thought it was glue sealed. But no, it moves just fine. A little stiff, but yeah, it moves. And the head moves, and it's really kind of ugly, and there's not really a whole lot you can do with it beyond that. So yeah, that's Articulation on Gomora. If you were expecting any more than those few points, I have no idea what you're expecting out of a cheap-ass vinyl figure. So for Articulation on EX Gomora, we get pretty much the same. The arms move. They can't go all the way around like normal Gomora. The legs move. He can actually balance if you move the legs forward, which is really kind of cool. And the head moves, which, as you can see, doesn't look as ugly as normal Gomora when you move it, although you still can't really do a whole lot with it. And that's it. Tail and wrists are glue sealed, and I do know are movable if you break the seals, although the normal release of this figure is notorious for having glue seals that are so hard to break the vinyl will tear before the glue does most of the time, and I'm assuming this is no different, so try that at your own risk if you get one of these. So for sizing, here the two figures are side by side, obviously, and the heights are actually kind of reversed here. EX should be as tall as normal, and normal should be as tall as EX, but this is just how they ended up looking. I presume EX is short because of the amount of vinyl they had to use for his tail, but that's the way it has to be. Here's normal Gomora with a few characters he interacted with throughout Ultra Galaxy and Ultra Galaxy Neo. Here's EX Gomora with the Figuart Zeton and King Joe. Here are the two Gomoras alongside Mecha Gomora, with a variety of Ultraman figures. Here they are with a fairly common figure, and a figure every single person has. You cannot deny that fact. And of course, here the figures are with Woo. Woo. So overall, I really like this box set a lot. The normal Gomora figure is a very nice figure and is probably the main attraction of the set for most people. Although personally I feel he could have been painted better on his fingernails and maybe a few other places on his body. But EX Gomora is an all-around amazing figure with a beautiful sculpt, and honestly is kind of made better with this paint job that he has, and the paint job on the original release was good enough as it is, and they went and made it better. Now, unfortunately, like most Ultraman box sets from this time period, except maybe the Eukilosaurus and Mebius one, it's not a very easy thing to come by for sale. I don't think I've ever seen one for sale on eBay, and the only place I've ever seen this set for sale on is Mandarake, which is obviously where I got it. And even then on Mandarake, I don't really see more than 2 or 3 being sold at a time, and currently, last I checked, there aren't any for sale on Mandarake. Although, the few times I have seen them, they usually tend to sell for around 40 to 50 bucks, which is a pretty good price to pay for the set. I definitely don't recommend paying any more than 50 bucks for the set, unless you absolutely have to have this dedicated figure of Rei's Gomora in the normal colors. But $50 and under, definitely pick it up. Now there are reissues of these figures, sort of for him, but for EX Gomora, there's the original release, this is the reissue. In the original, it's just him in his more video game accurate colors and kind of a more muted brown color, almost closer to gray, which usually sells in the neighborhood of $25 to $30 if you're trying to pick one up. It's pretty easy figure to get, I'd say. And for this Gomora, it's kind of when it comes to reissues if you're trying to get this. There was the max version of this Gomora, which was the original release, although it had a different head sculpt. This Gomora with this head sculpt and this color scheme has never been reissued. It was reissued twice as Rayonics Burst Gomora, but obviously it was Rayonics Burst and he wasn't in his colors. Rayonics Burst usually sells for around the same price as what I said EX Gomora on his own sells for. So anyways, that was this. I showed it to you, you saw it, and ooh boy, ooh, you saw Gomora, and they did stuff, and this was in there, 'cause I just put it there.